Hello, I'm Judy Vitale. This is your ReadTheStars.com weekly horoscopes at work forecast for the week of February 20th through 26th, 2017. Well, folks, we've got an eclipse coming up this week, and this one I think is going to be rather more noticeable than usual, and that's because we're going to have some other interactions between the planets Mars and Uranus on the same day with the eclipse. And the eclipse is also in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is it just gets to us. It just gets to our emotions. It gets to our very deepest natures. So we're really going to feel this one. There'll be the kind of thing where, with eclipses always, you're going to have events that occur outside of your control. So it's going to be things such as, I just really don't like what happened, and I'm not going to carry this situation, this relationship, this job, this volunteer gig that I signed up with. I'm not going to carry it with me into the spring. So there will be a lot of decisions made based on this eclipse. Be very careful about the ones that you make, and be very careful also about displays of temper. They're not attractive. All right, so on we go to talk about what else is going on in the week and when you can have your best days at work. Monday, not bad. We have the moon in Sagittarius. People will be very energetic and curious and wanting to learn more about everything. So it's a great day for presenting things and to be presented to as well. There will be a trine to Mars and a trine to Uranus, so there's just a natural energy that gets things done. Later on in the day, the moon will conjunct Saturn, and then it'll go void of course. A void of course moon, if you'll remember, is a time when you don't want to buy, you don't want to have meetings, and you basically have to expect that things are not going to turn out the way that you planned. And that's during the moon of void of course period, which in this case runs from 6:37 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night until 2:08 a.m. Tuesday. So that's what you want to work out. On Tuesday, we have the moon in Capricorn, and this makes people a little bit more business-like. We'll have also Mercury trine Jupiter, so there'll be a lot of ideas, a lot of talking. Not a bad day for business. Wednesday, on the other hand, I wouldn't pick. That's going to be kind of a tumultuous day. We're going to have Mars, and remember I said lots of energy, square Pluto, which is just will and power and the desire to transform oneself and everything around. So there's just going to be battles of will galore on Wednesday, because also the moon is going to make a square to Mars, which is a fight with Mars, emotional upheaval, with a square to Uranus, which is sudden, like a forget you, I don't want to talk to you ever again kind of energy, and then a square to Jupiter is like I'm always right, and that's the way it's going to be. So be very careful on Wednesday in business, and just hold off if you can on making any huge decisions. You don't want to get into that situation where you're cutting off something that's beneficial to you just because it spites somebody else. Then on Thursday, we have a little bit better day. Be careful of the morning. The moon goes void, of course, 10:24 p.m. on Wednesday evening, and does not come back into service for us until Thursday at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have Mercury in a sextile to Saturn. A sextile is a very friendly aspect. So again, good organization for thinking and expression. And that's really nice. Mercury is getting ready to change signs. So let's see what happens in a few days here. On Friday, probably the best day all week for work, the Aquarius moon brings a lot of objectivity to the table. So that makes it better, even though you will probably begin to notice some of the eclipse energy building up. You'll also see a lot of endings at this point in time. There's like a lot of endings even at work. You might finish up a big project or be ready to move on to something new, and embrace that, certainly. Then on Saturday, we have the void of course moon for most of the day, starting at around 11 o'clock and going all the way to 7:24 p.m. And apart from a nice trine to Jupiter, the moon isn't going to be too active that day. But Mercury will move into Pisces. So you may note that everybody's thoughts kind of become a lot more soft and emotionally oriented, considerate, sweet, and also sort of like an energy that's stirring up and getting ready for the onset of spring. And that's what the eclipse is all about. The eclipse that's coming on Sunday is it's going to take place at 9:58 a.m. on the East Coast. It's going to be visible just on the bottom part of the Earth, South America, Antarctica, southern part of Africa, and the South Atlantic Ocean. So that part, the more Eastern Hemisphere or more Western Hemisphere rather than Eastern Hemisphere, and more Southern. So in terms of events, look for events in those parts of the world. But in terms of events in your life, look for them to take place wherever you have very deep emotional attachments that need to change. You've just sort of been going around and around. And when the change comes from outside, the best attitude, especially with the eclipse in Pisces, is to be adaptable, because that's Pisces' strong suit. Pisces is extremely adaptable, and that's what we all need to be when we have this eclipse this coming Sunday. So that's it for the planets. As for me, I'll be at Journeys of Life this week in Shadyside. You can call 412-681-8755 if you're a Pittsburgher and you want to come on in and see me. I'll be there from 1 to 5. Otherwise, if you want to see me anywhere in the world, you can always do that. I work over the internet, over the phone, and also in person in my locations in Aspinwall and Pittsburgh. You can contact me at Judy, Judi, at readthestars.com. And also, I want you to listen to the new thing that I'm doing, the Deep Dives podcast. I have a link to it here on the YouTube channel, and you can always listen to it. Just search Deep Dives with Judy Vitale. It will come up, and there'll be several ways that you can listen to it. It's just 30 minutes long, but this time we have several experts talking about how to cultivate the relationship with yourself, and how important it is to cultivate that relationship with yourself and your divine nature before you even try to improve or find a relationship on the outside. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. You can always use that advice, right? And anything else that you need to know from me, you can find it at Judy, Judi, at readthestars.com.